Bo! Hi, Bo.
Bo's back here. Bo, you want to come get on screen real quick, just so everybody can see that I'm never alone?
Oh, one of the questions the audience asked you is incorporates Bo,
Oh, yeah.
so
Well,
that's
look,
applicable.
Bo's
Hey,
here. Yay!
Bo.
In one of his 5 shirts that he owns.
Bo the C2W cruiser guy. That's how I think of
You
him.
gonna turn my light off? That's how. Yes,
Oh.
Bo is here representing all the cruiser guys. So if there's any questions about cruisers, I'll ask him. I'll default to him.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are live, and what you can do is you don't need to open the YouTube app. Can you see the side chat right here in this restream window? It's like on your right.
Wait, where am I? Here. Yes, I see a chat window right here.
Yes, so you can chat right in restream. It's a little bit laggy, so if you want to use the YouTube side chat, you'll have that not as laggy. Okay. But
perfect.
Here you go. Yeah.
Now we
okay. Know. Yeah, now we know. So we are live. We've got 7 people watching so far. So I think I'll just
people.
Yeah. So I think I'll just get started right away.
Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right. So I've got Chase on the channel. I'm trying to point to you.
I don't know where I am. Hello.
I've got Chase on the channel. Chase on 2 wheels. I think everybody knows you, but so I'll just give an intro.
That would be great if they did. I hope they do.
Yeah, everybody knows Chase.
No I am.
Do you know who I am? Hey, Philip. So everyone knows Chase. And I'll introduce Chase how I know him, which is the very first motovlogger I ever watched. I can even track it down to the video. It was your Honda Grom review video because I was considering buying the Honda Grom as my first bike.
Have I done more than one Honda Grom video? I feel like I probably have, right?
Was it like the first might one? Have. It was in 2016, at the very end of 2016.
At some point in doing first rides, you lose track of what bikes you have ridden and haven't ridden. So I know I rode a Grom one time because I took it to the highway and I basically just pinned it for like 5 minutes straight. It was terrifying. Yeah. So that was one of those first rides that like it has that one little moment that I'll always remember, like, I'll take this to the highway and see what happens.
Oh no.
That's such a bad idea. Oh, I should not be here. Okay, well, I'm just going to get off on the next exit possible.
I know. Doesn't it only go up to like 55 miles an hour?
Yep. 100%. And you can get in the right lane and get past a lot.
Yeah, I just remember you giggling a lot. Ooh, I better turn off my phone. Turn off my phone. Someone just started calling me. So I remember you giggling a lot. And but yeah, I didn't end up going with the Honda Grom. But yeah, Chase became my go-to for ride review videos. That's how my Chase binging started. And then it was yeah, and then
this is good market research. Now I know, like, okay, people get locked in on the first rides and they start watching other stuff. Perfect.
Yeah, exactly. I got introduced to your first rides, and then I got further in with your motovlogging setup. Actually, my very first setup was made up based on your motovlogging setup. Awesome. And then the Chase on Yami series of old, of like a few years ago. Yeah. I was watching those. Yeah, now just an all-around motorcycling resource and entertainment channel.
That's what we're trying. We're trying hard.
Yeah. So everybody that's joining in on the side chat, I have a few questions saved from when I posted that I was going to have Chase on. So I'm going to start off with those questions, and then I'm going to ask him some of my own questions, and then I'll leave the questions from you guys towards the end. So maybe depending on how we're talking, last 15 minutes, last 30 minutes. That's just so that I can try to focus on Chase and listen to what he's saying instead of reading the side chat, because I've done that before when it was only me and one other person. And then they answer the question.
Locked in on the chat. It just becomes a chat response situation.
Yeah, and then they answered the question, and I was like, and all I said was, "Cool," because I wasn't listening. So I'm not gonna do that this time. One of the people watching called me out on that.
Keeping you honest.
Huh?
Keeping you honest.
Yeah, keeping me honest. And I try not to cry sometimes, but yeah, I won't cry on the live stream. But anyway, so I think what I'll do is I'll get started with questions for Chase.
Sweet.
So Alex asked, I said I wouldn't pay attention to the side chat for the last bit, but just for a second. Alex asked, I'm guessing it was a joke. Who is Chase?
Some
Chase
dude that
is
makes motorcycle videos. Just some dude that makes motorcycle videos online. That's it.
that's
That
it.
boils it all
And
down.
the OG moto vlogger, basically. I mean,
I
you've been on
appreciate that.
YouTube. Yeah, you've been on YouTube like 10 years now, right? Posting videos and
Yeah, I think we're like 10 or 11 years with making the motorcycle stuff. Yeah.
yeah, OG vlogger. And
It's been a minute.
actually, actually, you know what? Before I just have a few questions saved from the post. But before I get on that, do you want to tell a little bit about how you got started on YouTube and how it turned into a business? I think I know because I heard it in your interview with on Triumph on that podcast. But
yeah, I think we
yeah,
did
I
talk
want
about that.
yeah,
No,
I
I
want
can
you
definitely
to
talk about that.
share that.
Especially for the people that have no idea who I am, which I absolutely love. About I honestly think it was like 10 or 11 years ago. Well, 12 if we're talking like before the channel started and all. I had never ridden a motorcycle, and it was something I'd always wanted to do, but just life had never opened that opportunity up.
Mm-hmm.
So I finally was at a position where I was like, you know what? I'm in college. I have the time. I'm right now. I'm doing it. I'm flipping the switch. We're going to start riding motorcycles type thing. So,
Yeah.
got a shitty restaurant job, literally for the only reason to save up for a motorcycle. Because I had a expenses handled. So I was like, this is all of my money, 100% of it is going to go to buying my first bike. So worked for a little while. And when it got close to, I almost had enough money to buy a motorcycle, I was like, all right, I'm going to invest in a bicycle and I'm going to ride around. I lived in a downtown environment at the time. So I was like, I'll get a bicycle and ride around town and I'll kind of get used to being on two wheels. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so that happened, and at the time, YouTube was a little new, but like I kind of
Yeah.
am the same way now, where I was like, okay, I've never driven a manual car, never ridden a
Mm-hmm.
motorcycle. I have
Oh.
no idea what I'm getting into. So
Mm-hmm.
I was researching like every day. I would spend hours being like, how to ride a motorcycle, what is a clutch, and how do you go? Like, what is the operation of moving the motorcycle forward? So, spent a
Mm-hmm.
ton of time looking into everything I possibly could.
On YouTube?
And on YouTube, yeah, there wasn't a ton of content, but there was
Oh.
enough to have an idea of kind of maybe what I'm doing. So, at the time, I think there was probably 4 people making motovlogs. Well, what motovlogs were at that time. And I was like, that's such a cool idea. These people are like, I don't know how they're doing it, but they have a helmet on and I can hear them talking and they're talking to me as they're riding. This is a novel concept. So I thought it would be hilarious because I was assuming that I would start riding and I would ride for a long time. And I wanted to be able to look back and like back in the day and laugh at myself for how terrible of a rider I was. So I was
Is
like,
that
you
what
know
you
what?
really thought?
100%. Absolutely. I thought it would be hilarious in 5 years or 10 years to be like, wow, you couldn't even shift. So I was like, you know what? I'll document this whole thing. Um, and there was always already this like really tiny community online making motovlogs at the time. So I was like, I'll just make stuff like that, but I'll just start from the absolute zero.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it was one of those things where I documented the whole process. There's the video of when I bought what was it? I think it was my boots and my gloves came in. It was the very first motorcycle gear I ever had
Mm-hmm.
because I got a helmet with the motorcycle I bought. So that was the only gear I had at the time. There's still a video of me like unboxing this Revzilla package on my bed like with
Whoa.
yeah, I had no gear other than boots and gloves because I needed those to go get the motorcycle license.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just started recording the entire process. It was a very different time back then. We didn't have GoPros. There was no microphones running into your helmet. If you want to, we can talk about how we had to motovlog back then.
Oh
But
yeah.
it was one of those things where I had a couple jobs. I went to school and then driving or riding to and like this is after I got the bike, riding to and from school. I would literally just talk about things. It wasn't really motorcycle related. It was more like just whatever I wanted to talk about related. And I would just post videos. Didn't really care about the thumbnails at first. I was just posting videos and people were commenting and I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but they're watching me ride around. This is cool. And then essentially
yes,
you take that as a core and you fast forward it 11 years and we're here. This is what we do
Wow.
now. Yeah. So it honestly was just like just wanted to record what was going to happen, having had no idea where we would be right now. You know, this was never the plan. The plan was never to make it a job, but you know, YouTube did cool stuff and now we're now we're doing really really neat stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, crazy.
That's wild. The internet's a crazy place.
The internet is an insane place and I'm very appreciative of its insanity.
Yeah, seriously. Oh yeah, and you mentioned that when you were motovlogging there were no GoPros or mics. So how did you do that?
Good question. So, there was I might have the camera wrong, but I want to say it was called a Vado HD. It was very similar to how the 360 cameras that are kind of tall. It was very similar to that. Had one lens on it. At the bottom, on the side, it had a USB swap, like little, like it pops out, and that's what you plugged into the computer to get the footage off of it. So the trick was, you take your helmet and then you cut out the front of it enough to shove the camera in.
Oh my gosh.
So you just the camera would sit like this,
Oh
and
my
you would just
gosh.
talk to it. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh. How
It
did you
was a
stick it in there? With tape?
no, I mean it was truly it was shoved in so close
It
to
was
your
just tight.
face that your nose would just press fit it. Like there was a time I went out to record a video and I got upset because I had hit record, but my nose had hit the record button after me and I didn't get any of my footage. So my nose had canceled the camera recording. Yeah. It was
Whoa.
a different world. So when I make these
Back in
little
my day.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I feel super young when I'm like, you kids don't know what it was like back in the day before lavalier microphones and GoPros. But
Whoa.
I
Seriously
find
though.
myself making these helmet, setup videos, because like people ask that a lot, and I'm like, you guys have no idea how lucky you are. Back in the day, back when I was a kid, this is what we had to do. It's fun. It's been fun to watch where it started and where we are now. Cause like the quality's dumb. Like literally just a microphone, a recorder, and a GoPro, and you can get phenomenal audio and video from a helmet now. It's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, even 4K now in GoPros, I think. Yeah, you
Absolutely.
can.
Yeah, we've been shooting 4K for like 3 years now, I think.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a lot of data, but I mean like the
It
quality is
is.
phenomenal.
I haven't used the 4K on my GoPro because of that, because I run out so fast.
It's dangerous. Yeah, once you go down that path and you don't even you get stuck on 4K and you're like everything has to be 4K. So now your data quadruples when you're, filming.
Yeah, I bet. And if anyone, there was someone in here that it was Alex. He said, "No, really, I don't know Chase. I'm brand new to motorcycling and the world of all this. So you will soon enough, Alex."
That's so for people like Alex we just recently did a Learn to Ride series. We partnered up with Progressive to do that. And yeah, it's something we have been wanting to do
That's
for a
right.
really long
Yes.
time. So I love the fact that there are people because like I understand like YouTube's a big old place. And even with a big channel, there's a ton of people that have no idea who you are. But for people like Alex, that's why we did that Learn to Ride series, because we wanted to for people that don't know, we typically here in the channel we put a little more production quality on top of literally like everything. We do the same basic thing everybody else does. We just kind of like sprinkle production quality on top of it. So we wanted to do that for a totally beginner series. I mean, literally the first episode or the second episode, we're taking you through what the controls are. You know what I mean? So it was basically
That's what you wanted then when you were
exactly
first
no
looking on YouTube.
exactly. I basically made the series that I would have loved to have when I started my whole YouTube space. Because like truly, you don't know what controls are. You're like, there's 2 levers on the front.
Yeah.
What are these things and what do they do? So I
Mm-hmm.
essentially just made a series for, 10 years ago me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never driven a manual or ridden a motorcycle either when I first started riding 5 years ago. And yeah, luckily I started with a class, so I had all the instructions. But if I had just been put on a motorcycle and someone said, go, figure it out,
Right.
I probably would have just turned the key like a car and been like, why isn't this turning on?
No,
I'm
see,
sure
well,
I
so
would have.
I took the MSF course to start, but I'm one of those people where if I'm gonna take on something that foreign to me, I wanted to at least kind of come in and have some idea. Like I don't expect our Learn to Ride series to replace the MSF course. The way we look at it as watch these videos before you go to the MSF course so that you'll have kind of a base knowledge. And then when
Mm-hmm.
they're telling you these advanced techniques, you've already got this base of knowledge in your head. That was the thought process. But yeah, took the MSF course. I just didn't want to go in there and be like, how do like I don't understand anything.
What's a clutch? What's
Right.
gear?
Right.
Yeah, no, that's great, especially because I know like um guys, I feel like probably guys will feel this way too, but y'all don't want to tell the world this, but girls will talk about this, that just like having a lot of anxiety when you first go to the MSF course and
I
not
talked
knowing
about that on
anything.
the first episode.
Oh, you did?
The first
Oh, that's
episode, well, because
awesome.
like the second episode is when we start teaching people, but the first episode I'm talking about why the series is even there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like it is very anxiety inducing to know that you're gonna be in this class full of people and of different skill sets. You don't know if they grew up writing or if
Mm-hmm.
their boyfriend or girlfriend told them how to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And as somebody, like, I don't know about other people, but when I started writing, I didn't have any friends that rode. I didn't
Mm-mm,
have
me
any
neither.
family members that rode, like
Mm-hmm.
nothing. So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have anybody back and be like, hey man, what I don't can you give me a
Yes.
brief?
Yeah.
And that if you're trying to learn in that environment and you've got all this anxiety of like you don't want to drop the bike because you don't want to be embarrassed in front of all these people. Um,
Mm-hmm.
it makes it a
Yep.
lot harder to learn, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're worried about how you're looking in front of other people, and you're
Yeah,
not
you don't want to be
worried about,
embarrassed.
yeah, you don't want to be embarrassed. Nobody wants to be
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's why that's why it was like, all right, I'm going to research everything I can. And
Yeah.
there's some good information out online now, but we had to add to the pot. We
Mm-hmm.
hadn't told the story in our direction or in our
Yeah.
way, so we wanted to
Mm-hmm.
put that out there.
That's awesome. And yeah, I feel like there's always, but well, plus when someone's saying like it's already been done, well, it hasn't been done by this specific person. And sometimes you just want to hear it from this specific person. You want to hear like
For
I
sure,
mean,
yeah.
yeah, especially like whenever I was looking ride reviews, anytime I got a new bike, I always looked at your channel first. Like I was like, let me see if Chase has a review on it. And that was my go-to. Like
Right. Well, what you can
that
do
was
is
my
like if
first
you
choice.
heck yes, Formula
Yeah.
One. But like the thing about the advantageous part of that is if you watch a consistent or the same channel long enough, then you find out what they value and don't value.
Yes.
And if
Mhm.
the best part is if you sync up with how they are. So if just for
Mhm.
instance, if I care about controls a lot and you care about controls a lot, then you know that if that person's gonna care about controls about a motorcycle, because some people they do not care how a button press feels on a motorcycle, and that's
Mhm.
fine. That's great. Some people are like, if the button doesn't feel good when I press in the turn signal, I'm gonna tell you guys, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So if you find the right person that kind of syncs up with what you care about on a motorcycle, that can be super valuable.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
you specifically. So you just got to find the right
Yes.
person telling the right story about the bike.
Yes, exactly. And then plus after watching someone a lot, you get attached. You're like, I care more about what
Right.
they think than this random video
Yeah,
I haven't seen that
absolutely.
channel. I don't know them.
Exactly. I don't know what
Yeah.
they thought about a Grom going down a highway.
Who are those people?
Right.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm gonna bring up the questions from what I saved off of YouTube and Instagram.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna start off with Tube X Smith. I think actually he's in the side chat. I think I saw him in there. What does Chase think is the biggest mistake motorcyclists make out on the road that causes them to crash?
Oh man, biggest mistake that riders specifically make? Huh. You know, if we're gonna go biggest mistake, I think I could probably boil it down to assuming that other drivers see you at any point in time. Because if you assume the car in front of you sees you that you might be riding too close, they might slam on brakes and you're not prepared to stop for that. You might assume that you're flowing in traffic and all the traffic is moving together at the same speed. So it would be idiotic for the person on your side to come over on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if everybody rode like nobody sees you and you have to be super alert 100% of the time, because you never know what, like if you treated like the whole situation like you're invisible, this person at any point in time can come over on you. This person can, if you rode like that with that in the back of your head, I think that people in general would ride a lot differently than making the assumption that, oh, even if you have like high vis gear on, like you would be shocked at how dumb drivers can be at times. So I think if they just like accepted the fact that, look, this is super dangerous and you have to proceed as if nobody knows you're there, I think a lot of people would naturally have to put themselves in a situation of riding more defensively.
Yeah. I think that's what you're saying is a lot what like MC Ryder says, how important it is to just have a road strategy like preemptively, like make sure you're not in, well, this is kind of how I interpret it. This, he doesn't say this specifically, but like making sure no one's in your blind spot, that you're not in anyone's blind spot, that you're kind of watching what everyone's doing. Yeah,
Right.
that preemptive road strategy is
Yeah,
so
honestly,
big.
you should have it should be a constant evolving chess game of where am I in my lane, who's around me, and how can I leave out of this, how many paths do I have to leave out of this situation in case A, B, C, or D happens. And that should just be happening in the back of your head at 24/7 while you're riding.
Yeah, I think that makes a big difference. I mean, I'm like a paranoid person when I ride, and I mean, I don't think I've even had a close call.
Well, yeah, I mean,
In
and
5 years.
you never know though. Like, you have to be like I don't even think it's paranoid. It's at that point, if you're riding to be safe, you have to be like, like I'll find myself, I'll be in the middle of riding. None of the cars around me will have done anything, but I'm over here like staring at the dude in front of me to the left. I'm looking at his front tire like, is that thing slightly coming towards me? Because that means that he's gonna want to turn and get in my lane in about 100 yards. So yeah, so you do get a little paranoid about like,
Oh, that's very preemptive. That's good.
well, so like I'm sure like anybody that has ridden for a period of time, you get to the point where like you can look at how a car is driving and you can, with a relatively high level of certainty, know that in about a mile, based on the way they're driving and the position that they're in on the road, that they're wanting to get in the right lane. This is before blinkers, if they use a blinker. Like you start being able to read really small cues on cars to judge the driver in general. Especially if you're riding around that person for a few minutes and you've got time to sit there and like absorb that data that they're giving you on how they drive, because like from an instant you can tell if a car driver is aggressive or not, right? So an aggressive driver is going to ride close to you, they're going to cut
Which
in
is
front
so
of you.
rude.
Yeah, for sure. They have no idea what's going to come up. But those people aren't thinking about that kind of stuff. They're just like, I have to get to from A to B as fast as possible. Don't get in my way. And those are the super dangerous people you need to avoid at like all costs.
Yeah, I get so offended when someone rides on my tail. I'm like, I'm on a bike. You'll be bumped. I could be dead or lose a leg.
I know you have no idea. Like
Rude.
if a piece of, let's just say a piece of 2x4 is in the road, the car in front of
Mm,
me is going to go over that. But if I see that
mm,
and I'm on a motorcycle, I got some decisions to make. You know what I mean?
yeah.
If that car is too close behind me, I'm going to
Mm,
get the worst case scenario. I'm going to hit the 2x4, and I'm going to get hit from the rear from the idiot that is too close behind. So it's a constant game of chess that you just you got to be looking out for anything you possibly can.
mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I want to cut you off for a second because I want to give the side chat some love. I got a couple super chats I want to thank them for. So R.A. Capel, thank you so much for the super chat. Gears and Gadgets, thank you so much. Gears and Gadgets, you made a really cool helmet cutting
I
video
was
where you
say and I'm pretty sure that's the guy that cut a helmet open the other day.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
he's in the chat.
He is, yes.
Phenomenal video.
I
I
thought so
watched
too.
the
I thought so too.
I don't remember the exact video. It was a Shoei versus a Ruroc helmet. Super interesting video. Like, and the cutting the helmet open, bruh. Like, good on you. I love that video. I watched every second of that video.
I wish I had thought of it first.
I know. I'm over here with all these helmets, and I'm like, man, I want to cut a helmet open now. I'm starting to.
You
I watched
should.
this video, and I'm like, bro, I got a lot of helmets in
It's
here, and I've
I know
got
it's still
plenty of
totally
tools.
valuable for sure. And then of course if like I was thinking if I do it, obviously I'll say this isn't my idea. I got it from Gears and Gadgets, so thank you.
Right.
But
I'm too
yeah.
cheap. There's no way.
Mm.
I'm too cheap of a human to be like, I'm just gonna cut a helmet open. I'd be
I
like,
know
I
he
don't
was
want
like
to.
this. He was like, "This was an expensive video." I'm like, "I know it was.
Bro, I
That
know.
was a
I was
six
sitting
hundred
there
dollar
watching
helmet.
that
That was
video.
probably
Yeah, exactly. I had a sheet. I was like, all right, $500, $600.
yeah."
I was like, man, that video better make me a ton of money if I'm gonna spend that much money on it.
I know, right? Taking one for the team
He
Gears and
did, yeah.
Gadgets.
That was. I feel like I need to donate to a science fund for him or something, so we can constantly see more just like cut things open.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's actually a YouTube channel that's I forget what it's called right now, but that's what they do.
Oh,
They just open
of
things
course
up.
it is.
A
Of course
father
it
and
is.
son. It's pretty
It's
cool.
YouTube. It's YouTube. Something. Everything exists. You just have
Yes.
to find it.
Okay. So I was taking some screenshots whenever I saw a question in the side chat, so I could try and make sure not to miss it. But you know what? I think I'm going to start on the. I mean, Fee was saying main chat, not side chat. I love that. So I'm going to start with our super chat question, and
Okay.
that was from R.A. Capel. And R.A. Capel asks, Kawasaki KLX 300 Supermoto in the mountains. Oh, review, please. Have you ever done that? I would love to do that.
I've had a Supermoto for like 5 years, and I have
Hmm.
never ridden it in the mountains. But
Hmm.
other than the Supermoto guys, the only other people that I can think of that are more, it's not faster in a way of like time, like they get from the bottom to the top the fastest, but I guess the correct term would be shocking, are Supermoto guys and adventure bike guys. I've been riding in the mountains since I started riding, and those are the only two motorcycle types that surprise the hell out of me when I go up there. Because the
The
Supermoto
Supermoto.
guys, the bike is like this. I'm like, how is there any rubber left? I don't understand it.
Wow.
Also, I have ridden in the mountains multiple times where a big old like multi-strada or BMW GS. I'm a relatively confident rider. I know the roads up in the mountains. I can ride it pretty well. I'll be up there on an R6, or was back in the day, tracksuit, just hauling butt, GS guy. Yoom. And I'm like, what is I don't, like I mean, obviously there's a little bit of ego of like, whoa, I just got blown off the road by a GS. But there's also like truly like, how is that motorcycle doing that? And supermotos
Yeah.
and adventure riders, 100%. I don't
Mm.
understand. I would love to do that, but I just know my little 250 supermoto would just be it would be trying its best to go up that mountain, and I would be worried that it would not go anywhere.
Whoa. Yeah, I don't know. 250 on a highway. I don't know if I would do that.
It's
That's
bad.
brave.
It's so bad. It's not fun. Like there's like R7 highway test bad. And then there's whatever that would be. Like I'll have to do it just to be like, look, I rode the 250 to the mountains. We made it. I'm gonna camp out before I go home because I'm not gonna be able to make it
I
all the way
know.
back home.
It'll take you like double the time.
It would. I'd cap out at 65 and just be engine pinned the whole way.
Your hands would be vibrating so much, I would imagine. Like, you know that feeling
I probably after wouldn't even be able to feel them anymore. I would just be like, I think they're still there. I don't know.
Well, keep your hands, please. We need Chase to continue riding motorcycles for a long time.
Chase wants to continue riding motorcycles.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to get another question out. So I am changing the rules suddenly. Instead of the questions that were posted from Instagram and YouTube community, I'm going to go first with the questions that I took from the side chat because y'all are here. So woohoo. And if I miss any questions, maybe I'll like do a post and I'll ask Chase if he wants to digitally respond to them later. I didn't ask him that beforehand, so sorry about that pressure.
No problem.
Okay, so another question was Yangbor ride for tails. It's great being able to collaborate with friends who have the more or less same interest. Doodle and Chase, talk about 2 main hardships in vlogging, please. 2 specifically main hardships.
Okay.
What you got, Chase?
Main hardship in vlogging. So I think for people that have never done it before, I think people don't realize the amount of mental capacity that it takes to have an ongoing conversation with yourself with no help and stay alive at the same time. So a lot of people, it's very easy to watch a motovlog and judge it for like, oh man, you missed so many points.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think a lot of people don't a lot of people don't realize that like my conversation is here, but like me staying alive while riding does have to have a higher, asset of my brain to keep me alive. So I think a lot of people, if they actually tried motovlogging, they would realize it's like, it is really difficult to have a conversation that's fluid and you hit all your points. If you were in a car talking to a camera, you could have this little like cheat sheet down in front of you. There's nothing for that for a motorcycle. So, there's no way to like have your data out there. So I think if people should go try motovlogging before they criticize people that actually motovlog. I think they'd be surprised.
Yeah, the trolls basically. So you're like saying like the trolls.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. At least that's like my number one is I'm sensitive, so the trolls get to me.
The trolls get to me when I'm really tired, and the guys in the shop laugh at it so much because I'll come in for whatever reason I might have like gotten less sleep than I should, and I'll read a comment and I'll just go off like, "How dare you say that to me?" And then it's like, "Bruh, just don't you dare respond to
that." Well, that's good. You that they're there for you so they can be like,
I try. Every now and then a comment will slip through the keyboard and it'll be like, all right, this is not productive at all.
I know sometimes all I can do is delete as fast as possible because I have a pretty bad memory, so I'll just forget. I'm still mad, but I forget.
have the attention span of a goldfish. Like if I just don't respond to them in that moment, I'll forget by the next day or later that afternoon. So, we got so much stuff going on. So I'll think about another hardship of motovlogging while you say one of them.
Okay. Number 1, I say the trolls, which we just talked about. And number 2, I know. Making a video. Now Chase has got a lot more experience than me. You're probably much better at this, but I still have a lot to learn. Making a video that I am so sure is gonna hit it out of the park, and it is a dud.
Yeah, actually, there's the principle of that here in the shop. If the guys generally, if we are very excited about a project and we think the outcome is amazing, that means it won't do good. If we put a video out,
well, like what?
We'll just do this. like they're it's almost like the more production quality we put into a video, the worse it will do. And you know, when we're putting production quality in, we're like, oh, this looks so great. We've got all these different shots that really tell what we're saying in the video. The script is well thought out. And then we put the video out and everybody's like, nah. Whatever. It's so soul crushing every time it happens.
It is soul crushing.
So don't worry, everybody feels like
that. Okay, I'm glad I'm not alone.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Yeah, but yeah, that I wish I could get more of those moments where I'm like, that barely took any time at all, and it's doing great. I wish I could get more of those.
Yeah,
versus like,
trust me, us too. we are trying to find out whatever the secret sauce is, because like we don't want to overproduce everything because we want to put out a lot of content. But we also want everything to look really nice and look like our style. So we have to find this happy medium of how can we churn content out, but it still be our content. Because if I was if we just did moto vlogs, I can probably film 5 moto vlogs in a day. You know what I mean? If I just went out and just shot them. But then they wouldn't feel like our channel at this point, you know, because at this point, almost every one of our videos has our camera car in it and all that kind of stuff. And it takes a lot, but you got to find that happy medium of what makes you happy as a content creator. You know, I wouldn't be happy personally if I just went out with a helmet and a microphone and a GoPro and came back, edited it together, and called it a day. I wouldn't be happy with it. I wouldn't be happy to put our name on that. So
y'all are videographers, photographers, and
I want to have fun with it.
Cinematographers, beautiful B-roll of bikes with cool music.
If we can.
That's what I think of when I think of like C2W. I think
okay, good.
Those are some
that
of the
is
things.
exactly what I need to hear. As long as people think of our channel, like even if you don't like the content, as long as that if you click on a video on the channel, it's gonna be that. I can be happy with that.
Yeah, just beautiful stuff. Beautiful what's it called? Cinematography. Is that the right word?
Cinematography, absolutely. Yep.
Okay, thank you. I'm like, I still use my phone in a lot of videos, so I'm like, is that the right word?
People have made millions of dollars on filming videos with their phones, so don't take any shame in that.
Okay. Next question. Oh wait, did we answer that last question?
Well, we both answered one. I have another thing, and it's one of the hardest things, being that we're trying to make as highest quality content possible. Having good audio in a helmet while you're riding is so hard. And it's not only like getting the wind noise down, but it's getting the wind noise down, making sure that your audio is the right level as compared to the motorcycle you're riding, because you want people to be able to clearly hear you, but you also want people to be able to hear the environment. You want them to ride with you. And part of the riding with you process is hearing the motorcycle underneath you, whether, regardless of what it sounds like, what type of exhaust it has. That is so dang hard. Like we're constantly trying new stuff here, getting anytime a new audio recorder comes out that's tiny enough to go on the helmet, I'm buying it. Let's try it. Let's see if that one works better. It's a struggle to get that quality level where we want it, honestly.
Wow, I always thought you guys have great audio. I never would have thought y'all are like,
I'm happy
we need to fix it. We need to work this.
Right. I mean, like technology is never going to stop. So as long as technology keeps getting better and better, I'm going to take full advantage of anything I can to get just that a little bit better audio in a video,
Wow. He never stops improving, people.
We try not to.
So, okay, next question was Terrell Redfoot asked, are either one of you guys going to Cherokee this weekend? I am not.
No.
Do you know what that is?
I have no idea what Cherokee is.
I don't know what you mean, Terrell. But I guess the answer for both of us is no.
Yes, the answer is no. Also, what is Cherokee?
That I don't know. Terrell, if you're still in here, if you could answer that for us.
Follow-up question. Cherokee is this. Now are you going? Answer is still no, but thank you for letting us know what Chase is.
Yes, thank you, Terrell. Oh, here he is. Blue Ridge Run. Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
Cherokee County.
No,
Oh,
won't be doing
I hadn't heard about that.
All my writing is done during the week now. It's just like lots of
Me
writing.
too. Yeah.
I might actually take the what do we have? The Rocket 3. I might take that up to the mountains on Thursday. I don't know.
Oh
Kinda
yeah,
depends.
I saw you guys have that. You're gonna take that to the mountains?
Somebody has to test these things, and
Oh my
I
gosh.
will be the one to test it.
That thing is a boat.
It's massive. We
It's a
Triumph
ship.
dropped off, I think it was on last Monday. They dropped off the 2022 Rocket 3R Black Edition. And
Ooh,
it's incredible. Can't wait to try it out.
that's a big boy.
It is. The first ride will come out on I think this Friday. So we've got the first ride filmed, but now we kind of played around. We have loaner bikes come in and out a lot more consistently now. So we're trying to figure out our strategy of when we get a loaner bike in, how do we just start making crazy levels of content on it while we have it? Because previously we'd get a loaner bike in, we'd do a first ride, and we might do another video. But lately it's like, let's see how much content we can make out of a single bike. It's been pretty cool. The R7 we've made a ton of content on.
Yeah.
So we're trying
I've noticed you got the highway video. I saw the first ride video. You got that's all I can remember, but I think you have more.
We've made highway, we've made mountain, city testing. So those 3 I think we're gonna start doing for every loaner bike. So it'll be a first ride, a highway test, city test, mountain test. And that should be every single time, I think. We're still new. We're figuring it out.
New at that. I'd be curious to see which one of those people tend to watch more. Either the first ride or the city or the mountain.
See, this is the interesting stuff.
Or if it's different on bikes.
I feel like the first ride will always be the flagship video. And then depending on what the bike is, I think the other videos will kind of fluctuate. If it's an adventure bike, obviously the highway video will probably perform a lot better.
Yeah.
But it was very interesting. You know, like I said, the R7's the only one we've done that on. But, you know, the first ride, super broad. I've got to cover the entire motorcycle in 30 minutes. I don't have a lot of detailed time. So I've, at least on the R7, it was really interesting to be like, let's go out to literally find out what this thing is like in only this one situation. And, you know, the R7 sucked in the city. I could have told you that before I went and rode it, but there's a lot of nuance you don't know unless you spend like 5 hours riding in a very in a setting that the bike is not made for. I don't know how the Rocket's going to do in the mountains because it doesn't have a lot of lean angle that it's able to do. So the mountain video should probably be pretty interesting, you know?
Yeah. I'd be curious about that one too.
Hopefully other people will as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Main chat, I have a little secret for you. So I had 2 videos on the same bike. One was a first ride and then another one was like a month-long review. And I was gonna title it first ride, and I was like, wait a second, does Chase own that? So I emailed him and asked him, I was like, is it okay if I put a first ride in a thumbnail? Is this do you have a trademark for this?
I will say you are not the first person to email me and be like, hey, I want to make a video and I want to call it a first ride, but I don't want to step on any toes. And I'm like, I don't own first rides at all. I think it's a phenomenal naming convention for what you're doing. So please, by all means, use the hell out of that.
Yeah, I was like, first ride means Chase, right? Am I allowed to use that? So I had to check.
Note yourself. Go make a copyright on first ride.
Oh yeah. Oh, you could flag a lot of stuff, I think.
That's not the thing to do. You got to have everybody saying their own opinions.
Oh, why? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was about to say, you serious? We can go into
it. We don't all need to say the same thing. What?
No, I'll send out a script to everybody that's going to do a first ride.
Okay, so Half Bald Bandit. Half Bald Bandit had asked, having horrible audio in my video, what do you set your task cam? Do you still use a task cam, Chase?
That's a great question.
You're checking it now.
Yeah, it's still a task cam. Here, I'll pull it off real quick and I can tell you.
Oh.
I don't typically keep this helmet right here. It's just convenient. So we're using the DR10L currently, and it works really well. I hate having to record, hitting the record button's a pain in the butt, but the audio is set to. I honestly don't even think these settings are really good. Or not really good, but I don't think my settings are going to matter because what's the most important is where you put your microphone. Generally, put your mic pack gain as low as it'll go, because like lapel audio is made for putting on a dude's shirt in a quiet room. So we're already putting these lapel microphones in a entirely different circumstance than they're really made to do. There's a lot of stuff they have to handle. So put your gain as low as it can, and you just got to pack that microphone, get it as close to your mouth as you can, but get enough stuff around it to where all the wind that's going on in your helmet, even if you close your visor, shut your vents off, tape your vents off, there's still going to be air coming into there. So you just got to get it close. Like for instance, I don't think we've done a video on the new helmet setup, so I'll just give you guys a little behind the scenes, I guess. But my microphone is literally right here where my mouth is. Like it is directly in front of my mouth. You know what I mean? And we've got obviously like a wind thing on top of it, but I mean, we're seriously talking like this far away, So just get it as close as possible.
Did you ever have your microphone like in your cheek pad, like in between your cheek?
So before this helmet,
I think I remember that.
This area, like right here, and you don't have to use an Atlas. You can literally use any helmet. My go-to spot's always like this little corner right here. But we actually took out the cavity that's in front of this because I have my mic vents just taped off. We took that cavity out and we put compressed foam, then the microphone, then the foam on top of the microphone, and it just sits right in front of me. And the audio from the last probably 4 first rides has been like this, and we've been pretty happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, I've also always thought your audio was perfect, so I wouldn't have known, that you're always working on trying to change it.
It's a constant battle, which sucks because you can never just be happy with what you have. It's always like, I'm okay with it, but I always want it to get better and better.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. If you stay the same, eventually you're going to look really outdated.
That or you get bored.
Times change.
I don't want to get bored.
Half Bald Bandit, I'm going to post a video here, and that is to this YouTuber. His name is Try It With Tim, and it's how he set up a task cam to settings on his Harley in the helmet. So that's another thing for you there. And Charles M asked, Chase, how is Oreo doing?
Oreo's actually doing really good. I won't go into the full story, but
your dog.
Our little puppy. So we actually went through about 1.5 years of him having seizures, like relatively constantly. It was, I cannot tell you how much stress it was, but we recently, I think I could be misquoting, but I'm pretty sure we're 4 months into no seizures, which has been, for me and Heather, has been so amazing. It is so nice to not have to worry about that, but he's doing great. Long story short, he is doing absolutely phenomenal, getting into a ton of trouble, and he is too adorable to get in too much trouble. So he's got a really great spot to be in.
Aww. How old is he?
Awesome. He is 3. 2 or 3.
He's a baby.
He is, and he's unfortunately ridiculously adorable and very soft. So
soft.
He's like a live teddy bear.
Aw, he is. I've seen his pictures on your Instagram, and I think Heather's Instagram too. He's fluffy and curly and white and black.
Love him. Absolutely love him.
So Alex asked a question. I took the MSF, got my license, and I've been practicing in a parking lot for a few weeks. Good job. How do you know when you're street ready?
Oh, that's a great
What do you think,
question.
Chase?
So we kind of handled that on the learn to ride thing because that is a question, right? Like you've sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
you're practicing, and it's like, and our last video in the series is kind of like tips for riding on the road, but
Mm-hmm.
when thinking through the series, what I thought was the time where you should know that you're ready to take on new stuff is when all the practicing that you're doing becomes subconscious. If you're not thinking about, my motorcycle is about 5,500 RPMs, it sounds like X. I think I should probably shift now. That
Mm.
should be something that you don't think about anymore because
Mm.
when you get onto the road, like we were talking about earlier, you are introducing so many more circumstances that are going to just come at you that you don't know about. So when riding a motorcycle is just a subconscious act and you just know how to do it, in a perfect world, that would be when you would be like, okay, cool. I'm going to leave this parking lot where nobody is. There's no, ooh, that light turned red. Oh, I didn't see that stop sign. Oh, this car is going to back out. Now I've got to slam
Mm.
on brakes. I wouldn't want to introduce that to myself before I had, just muscle memory of how to ride in general.
Mm-hmm. That's a good answer. Cause
Thank you.
yeah, because I didn't know how to answer that. Because whenever I did like the next step in riding, like what I mean by that is like going from parking lots to neighborhoods, going from neighborhoods to street, finally going the highway.
Right.
I was never ready. Each time it was for some reason I had
Right.
to because I had no other choice. And then I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad.
Well, to a
But it
degree, I don't think anybody's gonna be like, "Oh, it's perfect. I'm ready to go now." So at some point, you just gotta pull the trigger and just kinda
Mhm.
take the
Mhm.
experiences like you will, but, like, that's a great point, though. Go f evolve up. Go parking
Mhm.
lot, low traffic neighborhood, low traffic city area, and
Mhm.
just build your way up. Like, don't go from a parking lot to a downtown setting. Like, for the love
Yes,
of
no,
God, don't do
please.
that. That
No,
would be a
don't do
terrible
that.
idea.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh gosh. I remember just even in parking lots, whenever I would pass by a car parked with nobody in it, I would panic because I'm like, oh, a
Oh,
car's
really?
there. But then for the first few times, yeah, I was like, okay, nobody's in that car. It's parked.
Right.
um,
The
yeah.
car's not gonna move probably, but there's still a
Yeah,
chance.
probably not. Yeah. And yeah, the first time hitting 25 miles an hour, I remember feeling like a bullet.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
not
it's
anymore. But
funny, though.
I was like,
I wish I could go back. I wish I filmed more, honestly. Like, looking
mm,
back, I wish I filmed more of the process, or I guess I
mhm,
wish I would have had the ability that I have now to film because I probably would have filmed more if it wasn't such a pain in the butt to, like, record and stuff.
mhm.
It would be interesting now because there's so many like you said, like 25 miles an hour the first time you hit that while you're on a motorcycle, you're out in the
Yes.
air, you can feel, you put your hand up,
Mhm.
that's 25 miles an hour of air you're feeling.
Uh-huh.
I'm sure there was a lot of experiences that would have been really cool to like have video and audio of at the time. But it is what it is.
And you'll never get it. No, I'm just
I'll
kidding.
never get it back. I missed the opportunity. I tried, I
Aw,
failed.
that's okay. I get embarrassed anytime I see someone comment on a really old video like that, or it's like, "Good job, you discovered fifth gear on your bike." I'm like,
Oh
"Oh
shit.
gosh, forgot
Yeah,
about that until you
absolutely.
commented."
Yep.
All right. So Carl Newstrand asked, "Do you review completed videos before you post them?"
Do I review completed videos before I post them?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like double
yeah, for
checked, I
sure.
guess.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
absolutely. So, this is kind of a recent thing, where all the videos are now being edited by Bo, and yeah, we have a review process where he'll finish a video, I check the video, he does another version, I'll check that, and most of the time, by the time the final video's out, we've gone through 2 or 3 iterations. So, the final video, I'll most of the time watch them, but most of the time it'll be or a lot of the times it'll be I'll breeze through it really quickly, because I know most of the stuff is already there,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
somehow things
Oh
still get messed up sometimes. But
yeah.
I love you, Bo. I'm sorry.
Aw. Bo's his video editor, if anyone didn't know, and he's
Yeah,
standing right on the other side of the screen,
he
I
is
think.
right on the other side of my screen. Absolutely. He just gave me a very friendly bird. in true Bo fashion.
Aw. Michael Giza asked, Yami and Chase did a dual vlog. When are you going to get Papa Yam over? He had him over recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we had him over, I think it was a couple months ago at this point. We both rode a Tenere, but like, just like with everybody that's like far, like miles away, that runs their own thing, like this stuff takes a lot of time. So traveling, it throws the schedule off so much, because like especially if it's like me, I have to be here for all the videos. So if I leave to go somewhere, videos stop essentially. So it's hard to schedule stuff like that in. But we are trying to make a concerted effort to do more collaboration style stuff. We've realized that we don't do that a ton. We get in, I'm sure you understand this too, you get in your own world of all the videos you want to make and you have to make, and you got motorcycle companies reaching out, so you got opportunities that you would feel bad if you didn't take advantage of. And that's led to us being like, we have our own little C2W world, so we're trying to look outside of that, travel to other planets and stuff like that sometimes.
Cool. You're collabing right now.
I know, it's meta as hell.
Yeah. And you're maybe this is private. Let me tell you in the private chat. Or maybe did you already guys did this? I can't remember now if I heard this from you in person or if I heard this from you on your channel. So that's why I'm going to put it in the private chat.
I'm interested
if it's
to see what this is.
If it's not public yet. Do you see it? Do you see it, Chase?
Oh, yeah. So
there's a private chat right below in the restream.
I just saw that. So yeah, Dan was actually on the Progressive series. He was on episode 4.
Okay, cool.
Don't quote me, but Dan, I did collaborate with Dan. He's we
Sweet.
got him to record a little thing, because like, if you guys don't know who Dan the Fireman is, phenomenal YouTube channel, really focuses on teaching, and not only teaching, but he focuses on how other people learn. So we got him to do a little section for our episode 4 of helping people learn how to learn to ride motorcycles, like the way you need to think about things and stuff like that. So he offered a really good perspective from somebody that just focuses on how people learn, and he's also a motorcycle teacher, so how doing little parking lot stuff and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't realize it was already out in the Progressive series. For those of you who are brand new riders in here, you can see that on it's already out on your channel, right?
Yeah, absolutely. If I don't have a playlist link on me right now, but yeah, if you search the channel, it's within the last 10 videos. We did they're all titled Learn to Ride. So if you search Learn to Ride on the channel, you'll definitely find it.
And then so it looks like I only have you for a few more minutes. So y'all, the fact that I got whole hour with Chase, I mean, he's not only a motorcycle rider, he is a business owner, he has a team. And someone asked how many people are on your team. I lost the question, so I can't remember who it was, but I did see someone ask
4 total, I think. Yeah, 4 total.
4 total.
Including me.
4 total, including Chase. So yeah, the fact that we got a whole hour with him is like, woohoo! Thanks for coming on. I'm not ending it yet though, you guys. I'm gonna ask. We still got a few more questions, and we probably won't get to them all.
Let's quick fire. I'll answer them as fast as I possibly can.
All right, quick fire rapid question before we end. Right. Oh crap! Damn it, we got another side chat or main chat question. Let me go to that first. Half Bald Bandit, Chase, do you want to do a first ride on a BMW R1250 RS?
I want to do a first ride on anything I possibly can. I will not limit any of my experiences by what bikes or what.
Perfect. And Charles asked, how much did Chase charge you for this doodle?
None.
Nothing but his
time. 1 hour of time.
Yeah.
1 hour of time.
His time and his lovely face.
Right.
Robert Barn. Aw, don't insult yourself.
No,
Robert Barn. Yeah, I need to work on that. The disparaging things.
It makes my wife very upset, so I try not to do that.
I bet. Okay, and then Robert Varn asked, wait, I'm looking for the question among the paragraph. If you ask Chase if he can suggest a setup for rolling shots that don't involve a crazy rig like he uses.
Yeah, don't use a rig like we use. It's a lot. Camera, get a person in a car, get a person in the passenger seat with a camera, and just record kind of out the window looking back. You'll get a relatively decent shot. Make sure your camera or your lens has image stabilization. Okay, go.
Oh, when is the? Oh wait, no. Fee, did Chase ever go back to ride at the spot where those people pulled a gun on him?
Hell no.
That video.
No, absolutely not. Chase learned a lesson that day, and Chase will not go back. I went to the general area because it's Atlanta, but like I didn't go to that sketchy road.
Good. I'm glad. That was a years ago, like in the Yami and Chase series, right?
That was a very interesting time.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Brian Pokley said he needs to feature more cruiser content with Bo. His Yamaha Bolt is dope. Okay,
we
have I guess that was my question.
Well, yes, yes, we do. I agree with you.
Perfect. John Court, has Chase ridden any electric motorcycles?
I have. I rode a Zero. I forget the model name. The Supermoto Zero, the super light one, and I rode the Naked model. They are both first rides live on the channel, so they're there.
I remember you saying in a live stream, I think, that the electric bikes you've been on, they don't go further than like 150 miles, right?
Yeah, that's the problem with electric bikes right now. The miles are, I can't sign on right now. If the miles were a little better, I would be full on for that Naked version of the Zero bike, but
yeah,
I need a little more miles.
Yeah. Works for commuting, but those mountain days, not the mountain days. Yeah, and then exactly. the last question, Jenny Nestor, after the mullet dies, can we get a mohawk?
Bro, the mullet's dead.
I missed that. When did you have a mullet?
So, there was a live on Two Wheels is me and Bo's like weekly live show, and we had a joke that I had a mullet going, and so my wife Heather, she has a sister that cuts hair, so my hair was getting a little long. We were gonna cut it, and I was like, it would be hilarious. Can you cut this into a mullet just so I can do one live show so it would be funny? And then we kept it for like 4 weeks, but Heather said that I could have a mullet, but it had to get cut off before we did a wedding. Heather runs a wedding photography business that her business, and I shoot weddings with her. So we had a wedding yesterday, actually, and it was our first wedding back after like the summer break or whatever. And we had to cut the mullet off 2 episodes ago for the Live on Two Wheels episode.
Oh,
yeah, I did have a mullet for a while though. It was hilarious. We thought it was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen. Yeah,
I missed that.
Yeah, we had like this mullet check in the beginning of the episodes. We do them on Thursdays at 5 if anybody's interested. But yeah, we would always start the episode with a mullet check, which was hilarious. But yeah, I think we cut it off, and it just happened to be on an episode where we were talking about a topic that I was like super passionate about. So it was one of those episodes where I'm like, I want to get straight to the topic. I'm not gonna like show off and talk about all the stuff. I think I didn't even talk about a sponsor spot. It was a rough episode. So I probably forgot to be like, oh yeah, no mullet. I'll have to find the episode. I don't remember which episode it was though.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, now I'll need to look for that. Chasing a mullet.
Chasing a mullet for sure. I was rocking it for a minute. There's I don't remember the first ride. The guys and I were laughing that there was one first ride we did where the mullet was long enough to see in the camera car footage my hair out of the back of the helmet. I was laughing so hard at that because that doesn't happen very often. I don't grow my hair out very much. So
how did Heather feel about this mullet?
She was like, look, it's stupid, but she understood the hilarity of it, and she was like, let's make a deal. You can have your little mullet thing, but when we go to shoot a wedding, you're not gonna show up and represent my company with a mullet on, which it makes total sense. So especially when we're trying to do like higher end wedding clients and stuff.
Oh yeah.
You show up with this like, so what's up with the dude with the mullet? I definitely don't trust him to have and take our like once in a lifetime wedding photos. So yeah, we had to solve that problem the other day.
Well, that was nice of you.
It's okay. It was fun. It was fun while it lasted.
Well, Chase, thank you so much for coming on here.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Giving us an hour and even slightly above that of your time. I know you're a very busy person.
Trust me, every one of our live shows is like, let's shoot for an hour. Hour 5. Got it.
Oh, hour 5. Interesting.
We just accept the fact. We say it's an hour. We try to make it as close as possible, but as you can see, I talk a lot.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm in the situation that I am where I get to talk for a living.
It helps me out. This would have been a much harder live stream if you did not talk a lot. So.
Glad to make it easy for you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Chase. Appreciate you being on here. The OG motovlogger came on here. I'm so excited. And thank you all for hanging out in the side chat and your questions. And I'm going to end it with no outro music because this is how we do it here.
Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for more notifications, all the YouTube stuff.
Thank you, Chase.
We got this.
You're a pro. You must be a pro.
I have been doing it for quite a minute. I have to say these things too often.
I forget. I need to remember that.
Okay. Yep, absolutely. Every time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Chase.